Well, happy Friday. All right, so this is Friday, and I know you're all busy, or maybe you're finished with erasing the little red men in your in your Canvas courses. But anyway, I just wanted to share quickly a way to add some more multimedia content to your online courses. Or if you're not teaching an online or hybrid course, you might want to add some more content into your Canvas course to help support your students' learning. And so I'm going to show you a tip that I learned over the break about NotebookLM. So if you're not familiar with NotebookLM, if you just do a little research on it, you'll notice that, or you'll learn that it is a tool that allows for you to add documents, sources into the tool, and then you use it as a chat bot, but it only references the information that you add into it. So what I've been doing is adding in all of my course materials into a notebook. So this is my English 102 notebook, and over on the right, this is where your sources live. So you can see that I've added in all of my assignments. I've added in a lot of my handouts. And then more importantly, I've added in all of my unit pages. And so my goal was to create some content that I could introduce each unit to my students. Now, normally what I would do is every Monday morning, I would get up and make a video basically doing this same thing. And this was important because I was making the videos uh, every Monday, they were more relevant to that particular course. And as a result of that, it was considered RSI, right? Because I could reference different things that students were doing in the course, talk directly to certain students within this overview, congratulate people, and that made it RSI. But it just became cumbersome, not just for me, but it became cumbersome in that on Monday morning, when I had 7 classes last semester, 5 different preps, I was making 5 different videos, and I was driving me crazy. So I decided that I would make them more uniformed and not make it me. Now it's not RSI now, but it's definitely still online content that counts to the instruction part of the time allotment that you need to add to an online or hybrid course. Okay, long story short, basically what I was doing was taking the content from each unit. And what that looks like is if I go into my Canvas course and I click on a unit, every unit is set up the same where it has this introduction, an overview, a time management, what the objectives are, and then this daily table, right? You can have accessible tables. And then the reading that they were supposed to do, and then the lessons that they were doing, and then any assignments that were due that week, right? And I basically just cut and pasted, copied all of this content, and then I pasted it into the sources tab. And so I go up into sources, add a source, copy text, and I would just paste it into this box. And now all of my content is in here. Now I will say the key to success here is that you do have enough content on your pages so that the AI bot will understand what's going on for this unit. But once I did that, all I would do is then take one source, whether it be Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. Say if I click Unit 1, let's do Unit 2. Unit 2. And then I come over here and then this box, let's make this bigger. This middle box is just where you ask questions about your content. That's for another story. But anyway, right over here is your studio. And so I chose this content and I can do any of these many different multimodal things with my content. I could have it give me a video overview, audio overview, flashcards, quiz, an infographic, a slide deck. Data table and reports don't really matter for me in this particular instance, but the video overview is what I chose. So to give you an idea of what that looks like, let's look at Unit 2. So here is Unit 2, and it creates a video between 4 and 6 minutes. This is one of the longer ones, it's 6 minutes. But it takes your content and basically summarizes it and organizes it and creates this video for your students. Let's have a quick listen. We'll only listen about a minute.
All right. let's dive right into Unit 2. What we're going to do is take the syllabus and break it down, turning it from just a list of things to do into a real, honest-to-goodness action plan. Our goal here is to map everything out, from that first little spark of an idea all the way to a polished research proposal.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big why, your core mission. Then we'll get into the how, the blueprint for building a really solid argument. After that, we'll get down to the practical stuff, the lessons, the tasks, and a timeline to help you succeed. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways. It's a straight shot from start to finish.
Okay, first up, your core mission. Before we get lost in the weeds with all the details, we need to get crystal clear on the single most important goal for this whole unit. Seriously, everything else we're about to talk about points right back to this one thing.
So what's it all about? What's the number one goal of Unit 2? You know, when the dust settles, what is the one thing you absolutely have to walk away with?
And there it is. Plain and simple. Your main objective is to write a compelling research proposal that gets the green light. And
Right, so you can see how helpful that could be to start a unit for students to be able to get this introduction. And again, it replaces you and it replaces your RSI, which means that now I have to figure out different ways to interact or engage with my students. And I have no problem doing that. So this just streamlines it. It's this uniform voice. It's either a male voice or a female voice. And it will outline exactly what students need to do for that unit. Now, what I did next is added this video. So you can download it here, and then I added it to the Canvas course. So when we go back to Unit 2, and I scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see that there is the quiz, or the video that I added. And
all right,
embedded,
let's dive right into Unit 2.
I embedded a quiz. So as students now read this, 3 questions will pop up. Now, how did I do that? Pretty easy. I go into Studio. Let's open up Studio. And in Studio, I added all of the videos into my English 102 folder. And all of them are here. You can see Unit 3 overview, Unit 13, 12, 11, all of them are here. And basically, to add a quiz, you click on these 3 dots, you hit Quizzes, and then you say Create Quiz. Your video pops up, you name it, and as the video plays, you can add questions. You can get more help with that from the CTLE. But I didn't even have to ask or write my own questions. So back in my notebook, close this down, one of my choices is to create a quiz. So you can see here that every time I created a video, I also created a quiz. And the quiz generation tool will create anywhere from 7 to 10 questions. And so these were the questions that were asked, that I asked, and I basically just cut and pasted them into the quiz question tool in Studio. But it gives you the questions, and you just choose an answer. It tells you it's right. I even copied the "that's right" and then the correct response for my response to the students when they got it correct. And so it's been very helpful in creating some different content for me to add to my online and hybrid courses. So there are a lot of other uses now that my content is all in here in this notebook. And basically, I can do a lot of different things with this. I've been playing around with the audio overview. The audio overview is more like a podcast, and it's longer, and it's 2 people sort of talking with each other. Here's an example of a audio overview, and you can see here, these are generally between 10 and 15 minutes long. I'm not going to play this whole thing, just to give you an idea of what it sounds like.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are tackling what is, for many, the final mountain to climb in a research project: elevation. You've already done so much of the foundational work. You've got your core arguments, your evidence, your counter-arguments, all in separate pieces. And now, the mission is to transform them, to take those components and build them into one single, high-quality, 8 to 10-page APA final research paper.
And that transformation is a bigger leap than most people think. It's not just copy and paste.
No, not at all.
Right, because if you've done the work so far, your current draft is probably sitting at, what, 5, maybe 6 pages?
Exactly.
So getting from 6 pages to 8 or
Okay, so you can see that there's these two people talking back and forth with each other. So there are a lot of other different things that you can do other than just the studio. But in this middle one, you can ask questions about your content. You can ask questions like in Unit 12, following the pattern that we have, what are some concepts that I should have touched on that I didn't? And it will give you suggestions of things that you can add to improve your content for that particular unit. So I did try all of these other different studio things. I tried what did I try? The slide deck and the infographic. I haven't done flashcards yet. So let me show you what the slide deck and the infographic look like. All right, this is a slide deck. And so basically it just creates these what do you call it? Slides. Duh, slide deck, right? And that's too big. And this is interesting because it's the final paper construction. So it's using this analogy of building, going from this little basic house to a mansion. It's kind of creative. It's a lot of words on the slide, but yeah, the visual and the analogy are interesting. And it just goes through all of the slides, telling students exactly how they're going to turn their mini papers into this larger big paper. And I don't know, I was impressed with that. Let's look at the infographic. I was not so impressed with the infographic. I think mostly because I put too much information in it. Let's see. Like this one was the whole 38, all of the sources in one. And it created this infographic with every every piece of information from my class. And it's kind of interesting, starts with step one, propose your topic and create an outline, gather and evaluate diverse sources, build an argument, annotate a bibliography, and then verify authorship and submit. And that's basically what we do, but it's oversimplified because we do a lot more in that class. Here's an example of some more slides. This one, I can't remember what content I put in it, but it's basically giving them that roadmap again. I think I put in all the content in this one again, right? Their topic is on truth in the U.S. elections and policy. The gear that they're going to need, Canvas, Noodle Tools, Perusal, Remind, pretty cool there. Let me show you another example. Here's another infographic that it created, going from I think I used, the first 9 units I put in there. So basically it mapped them through what they're going to be doing for the first 9 weeks. I don't know why it has construct the final paper for units 7 through 9. It's interesting. Anyway, so I'm not using any of the infographics, but it's kind of fun to play around with. I think maybe I'll look and see what the flashcards do next. But if you want some help on how to get started with NotebookLM, the key thing to remember is that we don't have it set up yet for our school account, so I have to use my personal account there. So when you go and click on Notebook, here, I'll give you the URL. So it's notebooklm.google. And when you go to it, if you're logged into your school account, which I am here, normally it'll just tell me that I can't do it. Yeah, see, you'll get this. You do not have access. So the district's a little behind the times, but hey, not. All right, let me know if you need some help.